How to fix your Fire Stick is not turning on. So if your Fire Stick is not working or you can't turn it on from your television, I'm going to show you a couple of ways on how to go and fix this issue. So the first thing you'll need to do is go and disconnect your Fire Stick from the back of the TV. You could then try grabbing a small brush. You could then try quickly cleaning the HDMI port on your Fire Stick. Sometimes you might get dust or debris that kind of gets stuck in here and it prevents the Fire Stick from turning on. You can also try blowing inside of the USB port. Once again, just try to remove any dust or debris. Now also as well, if you're connecting the Fire Stick using a USB adapter, you can try removing the USB adapter and just plugging the Fire Stick straight into the television. Now if you have tried these steps and it's not working, then what I'd recommend doing is try using a different HDMI port on your television. So for example, if you're currently using HDMI 1, you may want to try changing this to HDMI 2. Sometimes it can just be a faulty HDMI cable on the television itself. Now if it's still not working, just go and disconnect the Fire Stick from the TV. You'll then need to wait around 60 seconds and you can go and plug it back in. So this will perform a quick power cycle on the device, and sometimes this is another way to solve the issue. Now once your Fire Stick's connected, you also need to make sure you're using the correct source on your television. So for example, if you've plugged your Fire Stick into HDMI 1, you need to make sure that your television is connected to HDMI 1. So you can do this using your TV remote. You'll usually have a button that flicks through the different sources. Sometimes this is called input or mode on your TV, and you just need to go and select the correct HDMI output. So for me, it's going to be HDMI 1. Now, if you're already connected to the correct source and it's still not working, then what I'd recommend doing is plugging your Fire Stick directly into the wall outlet. So rather than using the TV's USB port, you can go and use the original adapter that came with your Fire Stick and just try plugging it directly into the wall outlet, and that should solve any power issues.